Ovie sat on the edge of her bed, her head in her hands. For 3 years, she had endured fire in this house. Her mother-in-law, Mama Margaret, and her sister-in-law, Simbi, treated her like a rag. Why? Because she had not given birth. But they didn't know that Ovie was not a nobody. She was the only child of a very wealthy man. When her father died, he left everything to her. Her mother had died the very day Ovie was born, so Ovie was raised by her nanny, Madame Sandra. Madame Sandra was like a mother to her. She never married just so she could take care of Ovie. One afternoon, when Ovie got her admission into the university, Madame Sandra called her. "Ovie, my daughter," Sandra said, hugging her tightly. "I am worried. I don't know how you will cope there alone, but I hope my God goes with you." Ovie smiled and hugged her back. She went to school, and after 5 years, she graduated as a project manager with a first class. Madame Sandra was so happy. "My daughter, it is time to take over your father's company," Sandra said one morning. "No, Mama," Ovie replied. "I want to work in another company first. I want to learn how to manage people well before I take over." One sunny afternoon, Ovie was walking through the big gates of the company where she worked. That was when she saw him, Victor, the gate man. He was standing there, looking very handsome in his uniform. "Good afternoon, beautiful lady," Victor said with a shy smile. He opened the gate for her. Ovie stopped and smiled back. "Good afternoon. How is your work today?" "Work is fine, but my heart is heavy," Victor replied. Every day after that, they would talk. Victor was very kind to her. One evening, as the sun was setting, Victor took Ovie's hand. "Ovie, I don't have much. I am just a gate man," Victor said, looking into her eyes. "But I love you with all my heart. Will you be my woman?" Ovie was so happy. She wanted to shout, "Victor, I am actually the owner of this whole place. I am very rich." But she remembered what Madame Sandra told her. Ovie rushed home to see Madame Sandra. "Mama, Victor said he loves me. I want to tell him everything. I want to tell him about my father's wealth." "No, Ovie, stop right there," Madame Sandra shouted, holding Ovie's shoulders. "My sweet girl, listen to me. The heart of man is wicked. Pretend you are poor like him. Tell him you saw a job vacancy in another big company. Let us see if he will still be humble when he has money." Ovie nodded. "Okay, Mama, I will do as you say." The next day, Ovie met Victor. "Victor, my love, I have good news. I saw a job opening at a very big company. You should apply." Victor was shocked. "But Ovie, that is a huge company. They will never hire a gate man like me. Just try, Victor. I have a feeling you will get it," Ovie said, hiding a smile. Victor got the job. He didn't know it was Ovie's father's company. On his first day, they gave him a brand new official car and a big house. Victor ran to Ovie, jumping for joy. "Ovie! Ovie! Look at my car! Look at my house keys!" Victor screamed, lifting her up. "I am a big man now. Now we can get married and live like king and queen." "Oh, Victor, I am so happy for you," Ovie said. They had a big, beautiful wedding. Everyone was dancing and eating. Victor held Ovie's hand tightly. "Ovie, I promise to love you forever. I will never let anything hurt you." Ovie looked at him and thought, "I hope so, Victor. I really hope so." At first, the marriage was sweet. But after 3 years without a child, Victor's mother, Margaret, and his sister, Simbi, started calling Ovie a barren witch. One evening, Victor came back from work and saw Ovie crying bitterly. "Hey, baby, don't be like this," Victor said, holding her. "You are not God. Only God gives children. He will give us at his own time." "Why me, Victor?" Ovie wailed. She stood up and brought out some black herbs. "Look, this is what your mother brought today. She insulted me and called me names." "I am sorry, Ovie. I will do the needful," Victor promised. But he did nothing. He never stopped his mother. One afternoon, Victor went on his business trip. Ovie was at home, trying to rest, when the doorbell rang loudly. She opened the door and saw Margaret and Simbi standing there, looking very mean. "Good afternoon, Mama. Welcome to our home," Ovie said, trying to be nice. Margaret pushed her aside with her elbow. "Oh, silly thing! You think you can sit on my son's money and finish it? It will not work for you. Your womb is like a dry land." Simbi shouted, "We are here to send you packing. For 3 years, no baby. You are just eating my brother's money for nothing. You are doomed in this house." Ovie just bowed her head. "Mama Simbi, in due time, God will give us what you want." "Shut up, fool," Margaret hissed and walked into the parlor. Later that day, Ovie went to the kitchen. She used her own money to buy plenty of big meat and fish. She cooked a very delicious pot of stew. The smell was so good. But when she went to get a plate, Margaret and Simbi rushed into the kitchen. "Move out of the way," Simbi shouted, pushing Ovie against the wall. "But Simbi, I just finished cooking. I am hungry," Ovie said softly. Margaret laughed and opened the pot. "Hungry? A woman who cannot give me a grandchild is not fit to eat this kind of meat. This meat is for people who have blood in their veins, not dry sticks like you." Margaret and Simbi started grabbing the meat with their bare hands. They ate everything. They left only the red water in the pot. "Mama, please, that is all the food I have," Ovie cried. "Eat the air," Simbi mocked her, licking her fingers. "Maybe if you are hungry, your dry womb will wake up." Ovie stood there, holding her empty stomach, while they laughed at her. The next morning, Ovie was very tired. She wanted to sit down, but Margaret came into the room with a big mountain of dirty clothes. She threw them on the floor. "Get up and wash these," Margaret barked. Ovie looked at the pile. "But Mama, these are not Victor's clothes. These belong to your neighbors in the village." "So what?" Margaret screamed. "Since you are not carrying a baby, your hands must be busy. If you don't wash all this by noon, you will sleep outside tonight." Simbi walked in, carrying a cup of juice. She purposely spilled the juice on Ovie's clean dress. "Oops, my hand slipped. Since you are washing, you might as well wash your own too, you useless woman." "Simbi, why are you doing this to me? Am I not your brother's wife?" Ovie asked with tears in her eyes. "Wife?" Simbi laughed. "You are just a house girl that wears a wedding ring. Now, start scrubbing." Ovie knelt on the hard floor and started washing the heavy clothes with her hands. The next morning, Ovie was very tired. She wanted to rest her head for just 5 minutes. But Margaret and Simbi came into the room with big buckets of cold water. Splash! Margaret poured the cold water all over Ovie's bed. "Get up, lazy woman," Margaret shouted. "My son is out walking like a lion, and you are here sleeping like a queen. Is it sleep that brings babies?" Ovie jumped up, shivering. "Mama, the bed is soaked. Where will I sleep?" Simbi laughed and threw a small mat on the hard kitchen floor. You will sleep there, near the pots. Since you love to eat my brother's money, stay in the kitchen where the food is. A barren woman does not deserve a soft bed. Ovie looked at the cold, hard floor. Simbi, please, it is very cold tonight. If you are cold, go and hug the stove. Simbi snapped. They locked the bedroom door and left Ovie crying on the cold kitchen floor with only a thin wrapper. Ovie was holding a small picture of her late father, whispering to it, "Oh, Daddy." Simbi walked in and saw the picture. She snatched it from Ovie's hand. What is this? Are you practicing witchcraft now? Are you using this man's face to lock my brother's heart? No, that is my father, Ovie screamed. Reaching for it, Simbi threw the picture on the ground and stepped on it with her heavy shoes. The glass broke into many tiny pieces. Everything about you is broken, Simbi yelled. Your father is dead and your womb is dead too. Why are you still in this house? You are just a bad luck charm. Margaret walked in and saw Ovie picking up the broken pieces, her fingers bleeding from the glass. Don't just stand there crying. Clean up this mess. And after that, you will go and wash my feet with warm water. Hurry up. Ovie sat on the floor, her heart breaking into more pieces than the glass. She looked at the picture of her father and whispered, Papa, I am tired. I am so tired. Ovie went to the kitchen to cook a pot of stew with plenty of meat. But when she returned, she saw the kitchen was locked. Mama, Simbi, why did you do this? Ovie asked, livid. Simbi jumped up and slap! She slapped Ovie across the face. How dare you question us in our brother's house, you barren witch! Ovie took her phone and called Victor, crying, Victor, do you see what your mother and sister are doing? Simbi just slapped me. Ovie, what is your problem? Victor shouted back. Why do you hate my family? Simbi just called me and said, you beat up my mother. Don't call me again. He hung up. Ovie sat on the bed and cried like a baby. The next day, Ovie was sweeping the room with a very heavy heart. Her body was still aching from all the work Margaret and Simbi made her do. As she pushed the broom under the bedside, a brown file fell from the small table. Fap! What is this? Ovie whispered. She picked it up and opened it. As she started reading, her eyes went wide, like she saw a ghost. She saw Victor's name and a big stamp from a hospital. It said vasectomy surgery. Hey, my God! Ovie screamed and held her mouth tightly. She could not believe it. Victor did this surgery. He made it so he can never have children. Since when? She looked at the date. It was years ago, even before they married. Ovie did not wait. She did not even tie her wrapper well. She ran out of the house like a breeze. She ran straight to Madame Sandra's house and fell on the floor, crying with all her strength. Yay! Mama, I am finished. See what I saw. My life is ruined though. Madame Sandra rushed out from the kitchen, looking very scared. Ovie, my daughter, what is it? Did those wicked women beat you again? Why are you screaming like this? Mama, look. Just look at this paper. Ovie was shaking. She handed the file to Madame Sandra. Madame Sandra put on her glasses and started reading. Suddenly, she shouted, Ha! Jesus! Oh my God! So Victor did a vasectomy surgery? He made it so he can never have children. Yet he is allowing his family to suffer you. He knows he is the cause. Mama, he knew, Ovie wailed, hitting her chest. He sat there and watched his mother call me a witch. He watched Simbi slap my face and call me a dry land. But he is the one who is dry. He locked his own seeds and used me as a cover. Why is he so wicked, Mama? Madam Sandra was pacing up and down. She was very angry. This is pure devil work. So Victor wanted the world to think you are the problem while he hides his secret. He let them treat you like a dog for 3 years. 3 whole years of shame. Mama, what do I do? Ovie sobbed, her eyes red with tears. I want to leave. I cannot stay in that house again. Madam Sandra held Ovie's hands and looked into her eyes. Calm down, Sandra said. Don't just run away like a coward. Go back and ask him first. Let him see this paper. Let us hear what he will say when you catch him in his lie. Go back, my daughter, and stand tall. Ovie wiped her tears and stood up. Her heart was now burning like fire. I am going, Mama. I am going to face him. When Ovie got home, she stopped and rubbed her eyes. She could not believe what she saw. All her clothes, her shoes, and her bags were thrown outside in the dirt. The sand had covered her beautiful dresses. Victor was standing there by the door, his face red like a pepper, looking very angry. You barren witch! You are leaving my house today. Victor screamed so loud that the neighbors started peeping. How dare you beat my mother? You think you can just come here and be a bully because you have no child to carry? Pack your trash and get out. Ovie looked at him. She walked very close to him, looking him straight in the eyes, and slap. She gave him a hot-sounding slap. Victor's head turned to one side. That is for the pain I passed through, thinking I was the problem, Ovie shouted, her voice shaking the whole compound. That is for every night I cried on the floor while you watched me suffer. Just then, Margaret came out of the house, smiling like she had won a trophy. She was not alone. A lady was standing next to her, holding the hand of a 12-year-old boy. You are going today. No more staying here, Margaret shouted, pointing her finger at Ovie's nose. You see this woman here? She was pregnant for my son since secondary school. This boy is his son. My son is healthy. You are the dry one. My son has a seed, but you are just a stone. Ovie did not get angry. Instead, she started laughing. She clapped her hands. Wow! So this is the plan? Is it true, Victor? Is this big boy really your son? Ovie asked, laughing like a crazy person. Yes, it is true. Victor replied sharply, holding his cheek where Ovie slapped him. He is my blood. He is my son. So you can see that I am a real man and you are just a useless woman. Ovie stopped laughing. Her face became very serious. She reached into her small bag and pulled out the file. She opened it and threw the papers right at Victor's face. The papers scattered on the ground. Then explain this, Victor. Explain it to everyone, Ovie yelled. Do you tell your wicked mother that you did surgery to never have children? Do you tell her you had a vasectomy years ago? If this boy is yours, then a miracle has happened. Or your mother is bringing a stranger's child into this house to cover your shame. Margaret's mouth fell open. Hey, Victor, what is she saying? What is this barren thing talking about? Victor looked terrified. His eyes were moving up and down. He started sweating even though the weather was cool. He tried to talk, but his tongue was tied. He looked at the papers on the floor, then at his mother, then at the woman and the boy. He could not speak a single word. Talk now, Victor, Ovie barked. Tell your mother the truth. Tell her who is really dry. Victor looked terrified. He could not speak. Then he started begging. Well, Ovie said, picking up her phone, since you threw my things out, I will show you who owns this life. Suddenly, the police and lawyers arrived. Mr. Victor, the lawyer said, this house, the car, and even the company you work for belong to Mrs. Ovie. Here is the proof. You are to leave now without picking anything, and you are under arrest for deceiving her. The police dragged Victor away. He was crying like a child. Mama Margaret collapsed on the floor. Gibam. Simbi started crying and begging, Ovie, please, we are sorry. But Ovie did not listen. She found out the house Margaret and Simbi were living in, bought it from their landlord that same day, and ordered the workers to demolish it. She rendered them homeless. Hey besties, I believe you enjoyed this story. Please do well to subscribe, like, and share with your loved ones. Until the next bye.